Heart by the Dalai Lama. I know it's back to front. I apologise. I don't have professional gear. So we are just starting the chapter 6, the vast and profound. 2 aspects of the path. And it's page 83. Along our spiritual journey in Buddhism, there are 2 aspects of our path that reflect two distinct kinds of practice that we must engage in. Though the Buddha taught both, they were passed along over the centuries from teacher to student in 2 separate lineages. However, like the 2 wings of a bird, they are both necessary as we embark on our journey to enlightenment, be it a state of free from suffering for ourselves alone, or the ultimate enlightened state of Buddhahood we seek in order to benefit all sentient beings. I don't really understand the non-everyone path. Be it a path where we seek to be free from suffering ourselves alone. I think it naturally starts to leak. Thus far, I have largely concentrated on describing the vast. This practice is often referred to as the method aspect, and refers particularly to the opening of our heart, of our compassion and love, as well as those qualities such as generosity, patience that extend from a loving heart. One really good thing to remember in Buddhism is they use a lot of pictorial sort of visualization stuff. So I remember sitting in like I think it was a tantric teaching, and we were talking about bodhicitta, and it was just an offhand remark like bodhicitta is the mountain in this visualization, and I was just like, why mountain? You know, like, and because you know, we talk about all these different names, bodhicitta, love, or whatever, but we also need non-verbal sort of like props to help us understand it. And I started thinking about what is a mountain, and a mountain is immovable and it's strong, but it's also a habitat for all amounts of stuff, you know, like animals and trees and nature and humans, and it's an unrelenting source of like ores and things like that. And also it looks solid, but actually it's full of holes, you know, on a big level, cave systems where little animals live, and also then you can break it down into atoms, of course, then it's mainly space. And so for me, the symbolism of a mountain for bodhicitta became very powerful, and because it's quite immovable, it's always going to be that habitat and that place of refuge for people, bugs or whatever. So the symbolism in Buddhism, you can't just read Buddhism as just words. You have to like think, well, why have they picked that particular word for this particular you know, thing. I mean, I think it's pretty much well, they're the ones that stay in my mind anyway. Here, our training involves enhancing these virtuous qualities while diminishing non-virtuous tendencies. What does it mean to open the heart? For example, this is what triggered this. The vast path, right? It's the opening the heart path. The vast path. That's because physically, when you are experiencing love for all living beings, you feel vast. You do feel vast. You feel open and expansive. So I do feel like the words are important. First of all, we understand that the idea of the heart is a metaphorical one. The heart is perceived in most cultures to be the wellspring of compassion, love, sympathy, righteousness, and intuition, rather than merely the muscle responsible for circulating the blood through the body. In the Buddhist worldview, both aspects of the path, however, are understood to take place in the mind. Ironically, the Buddhist view is that the mind is located in the middle of the chest. An open heart is an open mind. And that's kind of beautiful. So that's just saying your experience of the world is through your heart. Your mind is in your heart. Everything about your mind is your heart. A change of heart is a change of mind. So he's got a point there. So it's a bit similar in the English understanding too. Still, our conception of the heart provides a useful, if temporary, tool when trying to understand the distinction between vast and profound aspects of the path. I'm doing 5 minutes here. The other aspect of practice is the wisdom aspect, also known as the profound. Here, we are in the realm of the head, where understanding, analysis, and critical perceptions are the ruling notions. In the wisdom aspect of the path, we work at deepening our understanding of impermanence, the suffering of nature, the suffering nature of existence, and our actual state of selflessness. Any one of these insights can take many lifetimes to fully fathom, yet it is only by recognizing the impermanent nature of things that we can overcome our grasping at them and at any notion of permanence. This is my new thing, permanence. Inherent existence, they call it. Permanence is another sort of like vibe for that. It's pretty interesting, all of this. When we lack an understanding of the suffering of nature's, of the suffering, hold on, I'll start again. When we lack an understanding of the suffering nature of existence, our attachment to life increases. When we lack an understanding of the suffering of nature of existence, our attachment to life increases. If we cultivate our insight into the miserable nature of life, we overcome that attachment. Yeah. Ultimately, all our difficulties arise from one basic illusion. We believe in the inherent existence of ourselves and all other phenomena. Inherent existence, a bit like when we were talking about nothing has cause and effect, where he's saying if nothing has cause and effect, it would just be there. Just there, immovable, whatever. So this concept of inherent existence is really important. It's difficult words because they don't fit nicely in our language, but it's worth it. We project and cling to an idea of the intrinsic nature of things, an essence that phenomena does not actually possess. Let us take a simple chair as an example. We believe, without fully recognizing this belief, that there is such a thing as an essential chairness. Okay, so the important bit in that sentence for me is we don't fully recognize we do this. So what we have to do is start recognizing that we have this habit, this tendency. This is important. So there is such a thing as an essential chairness, a quality of a chair that seems to exist among its parts. So again, this is a bit Buddhist terminology, its parts, because they're literally just breaking, literally a pen and anything but human emotions, breaking it down into bits. And what we essentially do is we kind of break everything down into bits, then we hold all those balls at the same time, all these bits in the air, and that is what we see as chair. But actually, it's just lots of bits that have come together to be a chair. We've called it chair. Anyway, he'll probably explain better than me. A quality of chair that seems to exist among its parts. The leg, the seat, the back. In the same way, we each believe there to be an essential and continuous me, pervading the physical and mental parts that make up each of us. This essential quality is merely imputed by us. It does not actually exist. But it's a really big on emptiness, right? I don't really talk about it with people because it's not a normal conversation with people who aren't Buddhist, but I am pretty obsessed with it up here, just thinking, how does it work? Why is it relevant? How do I see it in this part of my life? And stuff like that. And it's one of the reasons why, even through PTSD, I've stayed interested in Buddhism, because the compassion bit gets really hit by abuse, but the emptiness bit, it doesn't get touched because it's like, it's just too much of a fact. So I'm just going to stop there because we're at 10 minutes.